everyone. It's Belinda Ellsworth. Welcome to our channel. This is kind of new for us. So this is just the first week. We're sort of concluding the very first week of our new format. Super excited. Glad you're here. And today is going to be called Fitness Friday, but we're going to be talking about health things. So it won't be just about fitness. It's going to be, there wasn't a healthy Friday thing that I could sort of connect it to, but it will be about your health, which includes obviously nutrition. It includes, talking about supplements. It's going to talk about fitness. Like we're going to talk about all the things, right? And so today is going to be kind of another story, and it's going to be one of those a little bit kind of vulnerable story too, but one that I think is important. There's going to be a couple of learning points, I think, in here. And I wanted to talk about my journey and losing weight and how I've got fit and how I feel better right now than I have in like the last 20 years. We're going to save that for another week. I want to tell you something that I'm going through right now. And this is week 10 of going through this. Actually, we're about to enter week 11. All right. So this is going to be a little bit on home remedies. And do they work? And do they not? And what do you need to know before you take a deep dive into maybe a crazy home remedy? So it's going to be my story about home remedies, and if I would have done it differently, how it could have saved me a lot of problems. A lot of problems of which I'm still dealing with, okay? So I was doing this. I just got to tell you, how did you even get here? Because some of my friends are like, Belinda, you're smarter than this. And I'm thinking, I know, but I got sucked in and I couldn't help it. And I don't know, it just happened. So I had saw this woman online, and she's a lot younger. I always think it's funny when you've got 30-year-olds saying how to exercises for when you're 60 or 65. I think, like, really? Like, you're 30, you're 28, and you're going to show me how I should be working out when I'm 60? But okay, whatever. So I was watching all these videos. I was getting a lot of them, okay? And so this woman was talking about being able to do a squat. Like, you should be able to do a squat, and you should be able to do up to like 30 minutes in a day of just sitting and squatting. And she went through all the benefits. And then I watched a couple other people, because once you watch one video, once you watch one, all of a sudden, there's all these people talking about the benefit of doing a squat like every day. So I was like, okay, I'm going to do it. So this was on October 1. And I thought, because you know me, I've already told you guys, you're already getting to know me. I can be a little like, all right, got a goal. I've got a goal. So I thought, you know what? There's 31 days of October. And so I'm going to start with a minute. And then tomorrow I'll do 2 minutes on October 2nd. And then I'll do 3 minutes on October 3rd. So this is what I decided. This was going to be my plan. This is how I was going to do it. So that's what I did. And so I would sit there and get in the squat position. I turned the timer on my phone and I did a minute. And that was no problem. Then I did 2 minutes and 3 minutes and 4 minutes and 5 minutes. And I will tell you that when you get to about minute 6 or 7, it starts becoming hard. At least that was my point. Yours might be at a minute. I don't know. But like, this is getting harder. And where it got harder was primarily in my brain. Like, my brain, all I could think about was, how long has this been? How many more minutes do I have? How many seconds have gone by? I would look at the timer. Only 32 seconds have gone by. Like, oh my gosh, it has to be another 3 minutes have gone by. Like, it was hard. So I thought, I have to do something to be distracted. So I started learning to watch the videos that I had been watching, some of the, like a lot of the political ones. I thought, okay, I'll find my favorite people. And I started trying to find a video that was almost the exact minutes that I needed to do. And I would listen to them throughout the rest of that time, and that could help me, right? So this is how I'm like doing this. And believe it or not, that listening to somebody else talk without me thinking about how long I had been in that position completely worked. Like, it helped. But then I would start listening, and then I would get distracted even listening. Like, oh my gosh, this is getting so hard. Somewhere in this, and I don't know where, I found this video about face yoga. So it was like how to get rid of your wrinkles and how to tighten your face. And it was all, and it seemed it made sense to me, like all these different positions, and you're doing all of this for like 30 seconds. Well, I found that if I did that face yoga routine, I could make it to like 10 minutes, no problem. 11 minutes in my squat, no problem. So I was doing this face yoga. So then she was saying, you know, it works better because if you just have really dry skin and you're trying to do it, it doesn't work as good. Like it feels resistance. So they were talking about using an oil. So I happen to have vitamin E oil already here that I had been using for some other healing thing, scar or whatever. So I'm like, I'll try that. I'll use that. So then in one of the videos of this woman teaching this face yoga, she says, the best thing you can use is castor oil. Like castor oil is the miracle healer of your face. It'll take away your wrinkles. It'll tighten up your skin. It'll take away dark circles and bags from under your eyes. And I'm like, really? Like, wow. Okay. So, but you know me, and here's 2 things to learn about this. So I'm thinking, okay, I should probably order this, but I haven't yet. Now, because I watched that whole thing on her and that castor oil, guess what I started getting? This is one thing that I've heard some of these, you know, political podcasters talking about. You start getting fed, like depending on what you're watching, you get fed more and more of that. And then that creates an ideology of like, oh, well, this is how everybody thinks, or this is what's happening, or, and this is how people go like in crazy directions, right? And I understand that. I don't know that I fully understood what they were saying until I then suddenly started getting videos, like multiple videos on the benefits of castor oil. So I thought, oh my gosh, this is a miracle thing that costs next to nothing that I can use. And like, I'm going to do it. I am going to do it. Now, I have heard at least like, 6 or 7 different people going over the benefits of this. So I ordered some, the kind they said. I ordered the kind that they said. And then they also said, water it down with another oil, like another carrier oil. So, because it's really thick and sticky. I did that. I did everything that everybody said to do. And so now I'm still in my squat, right? Because it is like, I'm still trying to do this every day. And I'm still doing my face yoga while I'm doing my squat. Only now I've got my castor oil that I'm doing it with. So I was doing it during that. And then when I would go to bed, I would put it on. Well, 2 weird, bizarre things happened. One is I went to go upstairs and my hands were purple. And I'm not joking. I'm talking purple. And in my brain, I am thinking, why are my hands purple? But I had also been doing push-ups every day. Like this was part of my little routine. Do 100 push-ups every day. That was what I was working up to. And I had gotten there. And we have like a bluish carpet. So I thought, am I doing these push-ups on this carpet? And is that somehow coming off on my hands? So that's what I thought. And then I kind of thought it was in my head that my hands were blue. But then I went upstairs and washed my hands, and all this blue like was coming out in the sink. And I thought to myself, well, that is bizarre. And so then one of the things that, a couple of years ago, we just decided we're going to make our bed every morning. And so sometimes my husband gets up and leaves for work, and then I end up making the bed when I wake up. But if we're both waking up at about the same time, we'll make the bed together. And it takes literally like a minute and a half. So then it's done for the day. And so we pull back the over cover to pull the sheet up, and my whole side of the sheet is blue. And my husband goes, what the world? I go, I don't know. This is bizarre. And so the only thing I said I could figure out, because also not only was I doing it with my face, But then because gets so dry here, like in the winter, it had said after you shower and you're still dripping wet before you dry off, take the castor oil and put all over your whole body and it'll moisturize your whole body. So I was like, okay. So I did that. And I don't know what in the world, like still to this day, I'm not sure. I did read about it a little bit. So other people have experienced this. It was turning my sheets blue. So that was kind of like maybe I won't put that on everywhere. I don't know. I'm going to keep doing this, but I was still doing it on my face. So on November 13th, so I started doing this. I started my squats on like the 1st, and then it was probably I was on minute 6. So around the 6th of October, that's when I ordered the castor oil, and that's when I started it. So I had been doing it for just about a month. So on November 13th, my daughter, who goes to Boston Conservatory, she was in a play. And so we went to Boston to watch her in the play. And we're driving there, and I said to my husband as we're driving, so this is a weird kind of story, and like might some of you might think yucky, but I gotta tell it to you. And so I said, oh gosh, I have got a really sore pimple inside of my nose. And my husband said, oh gosh, leave it alone. Like, don't even mess with it because you don't want to be like miserable all weekend. And I thought, yeah, he's right. Okay. So I did. I made a point of like, ooh, just leave it alone. Well, we were there Thursday, Friday, Saturday. Now we're driving home on Sunday night. And it's killing me. Like, it's like literally pulsating, like the pain. Like, so I thought, I've got to relieve this. Like, I've got to mess with it a little bit and try to relieve this pressure because it is hurting so bad. Like, it's pounding. Like, it's making my nose feel like it's just like pulsating. So I did. And the next morning when I woke up, and I got some relief. And I thought, okay, good. Well, the next morning I woke up and I had like 6 pimples on my nose. And they were sore. They were painful. So I thought, golly, that's bizarre. Well, this just started multiplying every day to where my nose was so swollen, hurt so bad, and every day would be new. And I was nearly crying and it was hurting so bad. But I thought, I bought some acne medication. I did some different things. Then I went to my doctor. At week 2, I went to my doctor. And she said, okay, well, let's give you some antibiotic ointment to put on that. And we'll try that for a week or 2 and we'll see what happens. I said, okay. So I came home, I used the antibiotic cream and it did nothing. And my nose continued to get worse. So I called her and I said, this isn't working. She said, okay, I'm going to give you a referral to a dermatologist. I said, okay. So I go to the dermatologist. She looks at it. Now, the weird thing is here is they're not really like connecting the dots. So I tell her, I go, the only thing I was doing different is I was using this castor oil every day. I have stopped. And I said, because a friend of mine said, I bet you got a clogged pore and now it's like causing this problem. So the dermatologist goes, oh, I don't know. She's looking at it. She goes, we're going to give you some oral antibiotics to take. I said, okay. So we started taking the oral antibiotics and she cultured it to see if it was bacteria. She cultured it for herpes. She cultured it for like about 4 different things. And so they all came back negative. And she said, this is just bizarre. It's kind of bizarre. In the meantime, I can't even tell you that like it's getting worse. Like it isn't like, okay, now it's getting better. It just kept getting worse. So then I went back and she said, okay, every time she's saying, we're going to wait 2 weeks to see if this works. So I took the whole, 14 days of these antibiotics. I go back. It has not changed. It has gotten worse. And she says, okay, we're going to give you steroids. That's what we're going to do. We're going to give you the steroid cream and we're going to give you steroids and that should take care of it. Okay. In the meantime now, because it's not taking care of it, I start really looking up what the world is this. And I even put into WebMD, like, here's my problem. And it comes right back. It says it's cystic acne. You have cystic acne. And so it gave some different instructions, like, here's how you've got to clean it. Like, go get this wash from the store. Then, put this on it and do this like 3 times a day. So I was like, okay. So I did all that, and it said on there, it can take up to 3 months for this to go away. I was like, are you kidding me? So the first of the year, like January 5th, I go back to her again. And she says, oh gosh, well, you know what? And she says, we're going to biopsy it. We're going to biopsy the end of your nose and 2 of these spots, and we're going to see what comes back. So that's what we do. And it comes back that it is like, it doesn't come back as really anything other than she said it was showing that I had a flat wart in my nose, which we couldn't see. But because it just was all these like, pimples all around the whole, it's now like on the top of my nose, down the middle of my nose, just all over on this side right here, but just like everywhere. Like, so it was like, oh my gosh. So that comes back and she says, we're going to freeze it off. I said, okay. In the meantime, I'm Googling. I finally decide to Google, what are the negative effects of using castor oil? Because so far, all I've been fed and looked at is the positive things of castor oil, how it's a miracle. It's a miracle inexpensive cream. So as soon as I do that, I can't even tell you how many things come up. Like people saying, oh my gosh, worst experience of my entire life. I got cystic acne so bad, it lasted for 10 weeks. I've never been in so much pain. I got fungal acne that took 3 to 4 months for it to go away. Like the stories were horror stories. And I said, that's what I did to myself. Like I did that to myself. Plain and simple. Because I saw a video on it, thought, what the heck? Didn't really do any research. So that's what I'm going to say to you. If you're going to do a home remedy, like don't just look at all the positive things about the home remedy because you'll find plenty of them. But also Google what are the negative effects of this? Because you might be surprised. And are you willing to risk that? Now, there's plenty of people that have never had any issue. But that was not my experience. And I'm really mad at myself that I was kind of naive. I look at myself as being naive. I'm a person that I'm willing to try like standard Western medicine, but I also believe in natural, taking natural things to help you. I do believe in, supplements, and I've got lots of different stories I'm going to share on that story and like a really big one that I think will be like impactful for you. But so it's not like I have a mindset of just one way or 100% the other way. I'm kind of I want to say a smart individual that I try to weigh all of my options, but I did not look. I never Googled once, are there negative side effects to using castor oil? Not one. I got wrapped up in the whole internet. I got wrapped up in all the YouTube videos that I was being fed. And I also want you to understand that if it's that's one little thing. It helped me to understand when a lot of the political YouTubers that I've been following are saying, these individuals are fed this information. Like depending on what you watch, that algorithm just continues to feed you more of that same information. And I never really fully understood that until that happened to me. And then that's the impact that it had on me. And so I am sharing this story with you because if you're going to try a home remedy or you see online, because there is everything online about do this to cure this. Oh my gosh, do this. And I'm not saying that none of them work or they're not worth trying. I am saying to you, don't get sucked in that you don't fully research the negative and positive effects of that before you get reviews. Look into what other people are saying, because had I done that and seen people's horror stories, I probably wouldn't have done it. I got to be honest, because there was as much negative as there was positive. And so that's my story about castor oil. I still have friends that swear by it and using it in other areas of their body. I'm going to let them have at it. And you know what? And I'll find other things to use and other things to continue to do my face yoga. But my nose is still not better. I actually, just to conclude this story, this past Wednesday, I actually went to an ENT. he looked at it because we wanted to make sure that they weren't like spreading up into like this part of my nose and that, because I started feeling like I was having pain in this area right here. And then I started freaking out. I think it was psychosomatic. Like I got myself worked up enough that I thought I could feel something in here and that I was having shooting pains in my eye. Like I got myself so worked up about it. I got really scared. So she said, you should go to the ENT. He did. He goes, no, you don't have anything. So then I was like, okay. He said, I think you should go back to the dermatologist and have, because I said it did get better when she burned that off. He said, I think you should get another treatment with that, freezing it, and then see if that completely then heals it. That's what I think you should do. So that's where we are. I'm going back next Wednesday to get it frozen again. And I am hoping that this, because it was like a 9 or 10 of the pain level and how bad it was. Like I couldn't have even came on here and did this YouTube channel with you because my nose would have looked so horrible. And now it's like a 3. It's a 2 or a 3. And so I'm like, okay. And the doctor said, well, that's good progress. And he goes, I think it's just about run its course, but you should go get it, frozen again. So I was like, okay. So I'm doing that next Wednesday. And I'm hoping that, pretty soon here, we're going to be at 3 months that I'm going to be better. And so that's my story. And that's my tip for Healthy Friday. And so just be smart out there. And also remember that when you start getting fed a whole bunch of information, it's like, make sure that you are looking at the other side of the information. I think we have to be careful in the way that works. I think it's good sometimes, but then sometimes, are we being fed, good information for us? And we have to make sure that we're our own advocates and that we take care of ourselves in that way. So that's my story. Next week, I'm going to talk about my health journey, how I lost 70 pounds and what I'm still doing now in the maintenance period of time. So my lifestyle, this isn't a diet. It wasn't a diet. It was, I needed to change my lifestyle. And so I'm continuing in that lifestyle. And so I just will share some of that with you and share where I was, which was not, it wasn't just about the weight. I was in a very bad healthy situation and I took control of it. So we'll talk about that. All right, everybody. I hope you have a fantastic weekend. On Saturdays, I'm just going to do a quick check-in. We're going to do a little 5-minute fun thing on Saturdays. And then Sundays will be reflection day, because reflecting on how your week went, what went well, what didn't, how we can move forward. It's really important to do that every week, just to see where you're at and, keep sort of track of things, because time moves on. And when you're not paying attention, it even moves faster. So that's going to be how our week is going to be structured. On Saturday, it'll just be fun, kind of what do you got planned? And so it'll be a quick 5-minute Saturdays. That's what the plan is. Let's see if we can maintain this schedule. That's going to be the big thing for me. So thank you so much for this first week being with me. I hope that you took some nuggets away. Like that's, if you take one thing away that was like, you know what, that was really awesome, or that was an impact. You don't have to take away everything. It's like one thing. What was one thing this week that you were like, that was really interesting, or that was a great story? And again, remember, if you have somebody that you think could benefit from this, don't hesitate to share this. We're going to try to make most of our videos shareable. And I really hope that you'll subscribe. It takes a minute to subscribe. It takes a minute. It doesn't even take a minute. It takes 5 seconds? It takes 5 seconds to hit the subscribe button, and it doesn't cost you a thing. So there you go. And if you liked what you heard today, just like it, because that'll show me your appreciation. And if you've got your own weird horror story with a home remedy, or a good story of a home remedy, don't be afraid to share that either. I love getting feedback from you. That's how all of us grow as teachers and trainers and, influencers and podcasters and YouTubers. I mean, that's really when we grow, is when we get that feedback from you. So I'd love to see your comments. That would be great. Thanks so much, everybody, and we'll see you real quick tomorrow. Bye.